Hey guys. So I had a patient no-show. Happens every once in a while. So I've been working since earlier this morning, and I had a patient earlier this morning that I've been seeing for a while that I thought I would talk about as far as like the general condition in which we were treating. Since I don't have this patient now, which was just a shoulder pain patient, we're going to talk about failed back surgery syndrome. Or failed back surgery syndrome. Basically, the idea that you have a lot of back pain, you get surgery, multiple surgeries, and it doesn't work. And so after a while, we start to call that failed back surgery syndrome, which is kind of a bad name because it doesn't really tell you what the problem is or how to fix it. It's just a general syndrome, kind of like lumbago, just means low back pain. It doesn't tell you what's causing the low back pain, but it does tell you that you have low back pain. So today is a little bit of an educational lesson. I have Mr. Spine here with his little pirate hat, and just kind of do an educational on my opinion on how you would start to address this from a holistic, full spectrum, 360-degree perspective. So this is not a educational course on which drugs you should take, which injections you should get, or anything other than my expertise, which is manual therapy, exercise, and diagnosis. All right. I'm just going to block somebody real quick. Okay, it won't let me. I'll come for you later, Cartha. So, all right. Here's what we're going to do. So, failed back surgery syndrome means that you have surgery, usually for a disc, and you are having some sort of back pain, such as a microdiscectomy, such as maybe you have some stenosis, and then you get the surgery and nothing works. So, let's just talk about this. So, when you have a microdiscectomy, they actually do what's called a laminectomy, which means that they come in here and they have to get into this disc complex here. So, they usually cut away part of the bone. So, if you have that done multiple times, then eventually this segment becomes in, we call it instability. It moves too much, um, and it can cause a shearing effect. So there's too much shifting of the bones. And then eventually you have chronic low back pain, which you probably already have. And so how do we go about treating this? Because this, after several surgeries and then cutting through the ligaments and cutting through the bone to get to the to get to the disc, and or trying to increase the size of the spinal canal, or or trying to increase the space of this hole, um, the ability of the spine to control itself through movement, through forward bending, backwards bending, becomes limited. So, how do we go about treating that? And I am just trying to block one nasty person that I see. I do not know why that's doing that. So, okay. So, how do you go about doing that? Well, I'm a chiropractor, and I will go to tell you that I don't think, my personal opinion, that you should adjust if you have the instability or if you've had the spinal surgeries all at L5, S1. I don't think this segment needs to be adjusted. What you need to do is address all the scar tissue and the lack of flexibility and elasticity in all of the ligaments around here. So you need to do more what I would, what I do with French osteopathic medicine. Oh, there's a lot of negativity on here today. Okay, Clivert, you are now banned. You get off my page, you toxic soul. All right, so we need to loosen up these segments. Usually this part of the spine gets a little bit, so this is where I would adjust here and then the TL junction. But in general, this is an exercise problem, so we need to get the core working. So a general easy recommendation is actually to do a lot of side planks, because what we know from um, clinical research is that if your side plank isn't at least 3 minutes or and symmetrical, then you're very likely to have a lot of back pain. So what does a side plank look like? So you guys can get a metric for it. I'll do it on the table here. It would just be an elbow below your shoulder, your legs straight here, and hold for 3 minutes. You need to be able to do that. You just, to ensure that you have enough spinal endurance to get throughout the day and to be able to do all the activities that you need to do to stabilize your spine. Because if you can't do 3 minutes, then you're probably not going to make it throughout the day and with enough spinal endurance to be able to do all the activities required of you. So, make sure this person is banned. Another thing is also we need to address the scar tissue from the surgery. So, but in general, as a takeaway points is this segment is moving too much. So all of these here, relatively, on my perspective, I don't adjust, at least not at first. So I don't actually do anything there because I want to get everything moving around it. You need to get your upper back moving and your hips to take pressure off of it. So to take pressure off this spot. So if this is stiff and your hips are stiff, here is the pivot point, and like a stick bending in the middle, this is where everything's going to break. And this is why there's so much back pain. So, as a recap, address the scar tissue of the local area related to the surgery, and we need to do a lot of core stability work. I do need to start making more educational content on what that means and how to do it, and I will start doing that, especially as I need to get back into shape myself. So, that is one of the biggest things I need to do for myself over the next 3 months is get back into shape, because obviously I've gotten out of shape with the last 6 months of everything that's happened. So as I go on my journey, I'll show you guys how to do these spinal stability exercises. I'll show you guys how to get your back robust, and how to lift more weight if that's something you're interested in and be able to be more athletic. So I'm going to get some other work done. That was my educational lesson on, in general, failed back syndrome, about how I go about it. But in general, get the hips mobile. Hips need to be able to move really well. The upper back, so you can foam roll in this area. And here, you can do the frog position if your hips can tolerate it, depending on how your knees and hips are. The frog position is just here. You're spread out like a frog, and then you just lean back into it. Trying to show you guys when I don't have great camera angles. But definitely going to start showing you guys that because I need to. I just work too much, and I'm trying to find time for this because I keep getting asked these questions in the comments and my DMs when I see them. And that's actually what my page is trying to be about. Try to help people feel better, try to help people function better, and also play with my daughters because that's fun. So I'm going back to work. I got other things to do. So enjoy your day. Happy Friday. Yeah, today's Friday. And I'll catch you all later.